We're talking about the topic of doing your squat through the knees versus through the hips, so the front and the back of your hips. I'm going to show you an example of how someone would execute a squat from their knees only. So standing hip distance apart or whatever your stance may be, I'll stand side first. They do not have any articulation in the hips. They simply bend the knees, go low, 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 low. You see the knees start to drive forward of those toes, right? And now I feel a lot of tension right here, my quads getting into my knees, and they might even try to go so low, but they have limited range of motion. The ankles that they have to pop their heels in order to get down low. If you're cueing sink down, bring that butt towards the ground, this is where they are. I feel it a lot in my knees. And then they stand up. So they just bend from the knees and they stand up. So coming from the front, it's here, knees drive forward, and then they lift. So that is a quad dominant exercise when you're simply flexing and extending the knees. What we want a squat to be is quads, yes, but also glutes and hamstrings, your hip extensor muscles. So in order to do that, this squat exercise has to initiate from the hips. The hips need to crease, they need to fold, they need to flex. The hips need to push back. Then the knees follow. Now you drive it back, back, back. Knees stay behind the toes. The weight goes back. Now truly, I feel no pressure at all on my knees. My knees feel weightless. Yes, I feel my quads engaged, but it's a different feeling. I feel the control of my glutes and my hamstrings resisting me against the force of gravity. Then I press through my heels, simultaneously extend my knees and my hips, squeezing the glutes at the top. And now I've created a very functional, well-rounded exercise for the front of the hips and the back of the hips. So looking at it from the front, hips fold, torso leans, spine is optimal, straight and long, pressing the butt, the hips back. Then we take the bend in those knees to sink down as low as we can, truly. We say in our bar intensity instructor training manual, thighs parallel to the ground, but hey, if you can get lower, get lower. Again, I feel nothing here. Then I press through the heels, straighten those legs, bring those hips right underneath those shoulders, squeeze the glutes at the top, and that's the difference between squatting from the knees versus the hips.